Bonjour mes amis, je m'appelle Tito, je fais des vidéos sur les finances personnelles sur mon autre chaîne, mais sur cette chaîne, je parle d'autres choses, comme aujourd'hui où je vais revoir le film Passport. When his bag containing his British passport gets stolen in a rough part of town, Oscar seeks the help of the sister of the person who stole his bag to help him retrieve his belongings. However, getting his things back isn't as straightforward as he would think. Passport is directed by Dimeji Ajibola and produced by Vincent Okonkwo. First and foremost, sorry about the French. I've been learning French for a while and I'm now at the stage where I'm trying to incorporate French in my daily life, so you will be hearing French here and there in my reviews going forward. Don't worry, there will be subtitles. Fingers crossed. Anyway, about the movie Passport. I actually saw this film in the cinemas back in 2022, September, I do believe. Wasn't a fan of the film, so I didn't bother doing a review. Now it's on Netflix. And surprisingly, last year the film was it was in the top 10 highest grossing Nollywood films of 2022, but it was also in my top 10 worst Nollywood films of 2022. You can watch that video by clicking the card in the corner of the screen. I think Passport was at number 7 if I remember correctly. Anyway, let's look at les représentations in the film Passport. Mercy Johnson plays Kopiko in this film, this area girl who is also seeking like some local community office and who helps Jim Ike's character try and like retrieve his passport. And Mercy Johnson's performance was very good. It was quite convincing. She was funny, I must admit. And I think Mercy Johnson and her performance in this film is what led to the financial success of this movie. This movie wouldn't have done as well as it did in the box office if Mercy Johnson was not cast in this role. So she was one of the very few good things in this movie. Next, Jim Ike. Jim Ike plays Oscar in this film, the young man in air quotes who loses his passport on the way to the airport, and he was adequately frustrated. You could see, by his mannerisms and everything that he was going through, that he was very frustrated with the whole situation. Jim Ike is a really good actor. He's nice to watch on screen, and he was good as Oscar. The challenge that many people had with Jim Ike in this film was that he seemed much older than the character should have been, kind of, because he was about to get married and there was no suggestion. Well, I mean, older people get married for the first time later in life, but it felt like the character should have been significantly younger than, Jim Ike. But anyway, I guess it's just because we know that we have an idea of how old Jim Ike is. I've really gotten lost in the weeds here. I shouldn't have gone into this whole age thing. But Jim Ike's performance was okay, but I really do think that perhaps a younger actor should have played the role of Oscar in this film. But Jim Ike also actually made the film bearable. All right, next, Zubby Michael plays Terminator, this local thug who bullies people in the community. A very somewhat typecast, somewhat stereotyped role for Zubby Michael. We've seen him play this kind of character before in, I think, was it Dwindle, or was it what was that film that also had Timini, Brother Shaggy, Mr. Macaroni? I always mix Dwindle with this other film. It wasn't Dwindle, but it was another film that was also produced by Vincent Okonkwo, who also produced this film. Maoli Gava was in it. I actually reviewed it. It will show on screen. But anyway, my point is, this was Zubby Michael playing a character, or the kind of character that we've seen him play a number of times before. I wasn't too excited or too thrilled by the performance for the mere fact that it was something that I think I've seen Zubby Michael play before. Other than that, it was okay. The other actors who are in this film were Nas Boy, Adedimeji Lateef, Jide Kosoko. They were there. They were in the film. I feel like they were cast mainly to, because of star power, to draw people to the cinemas to see the film. There was nothing particularly unique about their performances, especially for Adedimeji Lateef, who is a very talented actor. I feel like he was underutilized in this film, but they were in there. Jide Kosoko was there as well, playing, Oscar's uncle. That's Jim Ike's character's uncle. I don't know. It was just there. So the performances, all in all, really were just there. To be honest, it wasn't the performances that I really had a problem with this film. we'll talk about what I had a problem with this film when I talk about what I didn't like about the film. For now, let's talk about what I liked about the movie. Ce que j'ai aimé. Honestly, I can't really say there's anything I liked about this film. Yes, Mercy Johnson's performance was good, and the actors that played Toby and Mighty were slightly impressive, but I don't think that's good enough for me to say that those are the things that I liked about this movie. I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, I don't think there's anything I liked about this film. Ce que je n'ai pas aimé. The first thing that I didn't like about this film was the fact that I actually had to watch it again because I had to do this review. Seeing it in the cinema last year was bad enough, but I now had to sit through it again so as to refresh my memory to do this review. So that's one. Two, this film felt very scattered and all over the place. It just felt like a very random film at certain points, and so many things didn't make sense. For example, when Toby was just loitering in front of Terminator's house that evening and they grab him and they take him inside. They just grab him for nothing. They take him inside and they find Oscar's passport on him. That was incredibly random. That didn't make any sense. Secondly, when Kopiko in the final act, right, when Kopiko is shot at close range in the stomach, and they just treat it like it's no big deal. She goes to the hospital, she's there, and the following morning she's on her feet again at close range. In fact, I don't want to get into it. So there are just those two incidents. There's a few others that I don't even want to try and remember, but this film was scattered. Lots of things didn't make sense, and it just did my head in. Another thing I didn't like was the accents. Oscar's mom and sister were in the UK, and their British accents were laughable, which is why I'm laughing right now. Let me move on from that. Those accents were terrible. And speaking of the UK, the locations that they tried to pass off as being like a hospital or a home in England were just not cutting it. Those scenes or those locations were clearly here in Nigeria. If they had put in a little bit more effort, they could have found locations here in Lagos that they could have passed off as London or as the UK. But I don't know, they just didn't want to put in the extra effort. And it just made me wonder, why even bother? Why bother? Maybe just do close-up shots and don't let us see the rest of the room, which you want us to believe is in the UK. That was incredibly annoying. Finally, this film felt incredibly gimmicky, in the sense that it felt like one of those films where they just pack a number of big name stars, put them in a movie with a very weak script, and they just, put it out there hoping that people will just run to the cinema and watch it because of the big stars in the movie. And to be honest, that formula does work, because like I said, this film was one of the top 10 highest grossing Nollywood films in the box office of 2022. And it's painful when these gimmicks work, star-studded films that just really lack substance. I don't know, I guess it's a reflection of our audience, and our audience, they tend to like films like that, or they like movies with big name stars. It baffles me, yeah, but it is what it is. And hey, hopefully things will get better. Hopefully the audience will become, more aware that things can actually be better and that films don't need to be so lazy. In conclusion, I found this film to be incredibly frustrating. I did not enjoy it last year when I saw it in the cinema, and I really didn't enjoy it now when I saw it on Netflix. It still baffles me how this film made so much money in cinemas last year. Actually, the film had lots of marketing behind it. The advertising and the marketing was off the chains, right? And I think it was a bit of a dry period in cinemas, although it was out when Brotherhood was also out, at the same time. It still baffles me. But hey, the past is the past. If you want to see a film that really engages the brain, a film that has a good story, and a film that that isn't a waste of your time, then do not see this film, Passports. Although that's neither here nor there, because most of you watching have probably already seen it. So yeah, do with that information what you will. Thank you guys so much for watching this very weird review. If you liked it, please like it by clicking on the like button just underneath the video, and subscribe to my channel as well by clicking on the black subscribe button. You guys doing these things really means a lot to us YouTubers, right? Because engagement through liking a video, subscribing to a channel, and leaving a comment down below, it really does help the channel and it helps the video. And us YouTubers are really, as many of you know, are all about growing our reach on the platform. So it really would mean a lot to me if you guys liked the video once again and subscribed to my channel, or left me a comment down below, especially if you've seen the movie Passport. Also, while we're at it and while we're talking about reach and money, try and watch some of the adverts that play while my videos show, because another way that, well, the main way that we're meant to make money out here on YouTube. So please watch the adverts or even click on them so that your boy can afford a nice lunch this weekend. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. I do other videos on this channel. I also do relationship videos. I have other Nollywood reviews. You can click the card in the corner of the screen to check them out. Remember, I have my top 10 worst of 2022 from Nollywood and my top 10 best of 2022 from Nollywood. You can check those videos out as well by clicking the card in the corner of the screen. I'll also link them in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Take care.